This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons like Omegacat Comet, Saray Cypher, Hans Grenade, Anna Ginterrace, Bob CC, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Lukile Maela, Sapa Chakwatul, Courtney, Circa Barrakiel, Casey Schaefer, Lily Black, Chaitan, Jeshus Holtiri, Erisu Yamakawa, Zasirful Alirafu, Dimos, Nina Grimsdaughter, Asuta Starbreeze, Quicklevin, Sayori Snowfall, Ignal the Dragon, Uana Nitsa, Miscellaneous Cargo, Duke Jarlsberg, Stella Bell, Yernthota Aurora, Boogie Bear, Remy Asalia, Cirrus, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, CNG Lipscomb, Dalamud Papodo, Kaisa Regina, Umbral Wind, and Velina Evensong. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon episode 154. I'm Lukile Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Just Maela.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
We are the... for some reason, both of our other hosts, Georgi and
That's it.
Rollo.
You know his name.
I didn't forget Rollo.
We don't care about them anymore.
That was weird. For some reason, the stars aligned. Well, that's used
No,
to be
they
positive.
didn't.
They didn't align. They
The stars
misaligned.
broke apart.
They broke apart and misaligned.
Jupiter was in sync with Saturn.
Yeah. Rollo is moving, and
Yeah.
Yorgo.
Your go.
And Georgi, this is going to be an episode, I'm telling you.
Rolly and Gyorgo.
Rolly and Georgo. So, sorry, what did I say? Yeah, Georgi's having his parents visiting. So
He's having them visit.
Georgi will be back again tomorrow for minimum eye level. Rollo will be gone
and Rollo
for
might
another few days, I think. And then he'll be back next week. Okay.
Just, settle in, grab a cup of tea.
There's going to be a very relaxed
Us
episode.
relaxed.
Last time we did this was with the two of us, and it was in January this year. That was also when Rollo was moving.
Rollo is he a criminal? Is he constantly on the move? I feel like we should probably investigate him.
Yeah. Welcome everyone to episode 154. So as you can see, our main story today is the great discussion about the 12. So
That's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's what it's because we'll talk about it when we get there. But it's sad that Rollo isn't here because Rollo said something in the previous episode that he didn't get enough praise for.
No praise for it.
No, we just sort of skimmed over it for some reason. The other news is Live Letter. We'll discuss a little bit about that. We'll predict some stuff, I guess, and then I'll throw that away and read MogMail because there's a lot of MogMail that we're gonna have to get through today. And stay tuned for the post show if you're watching live because apparently Maela's got something that I'm gonna look forward to. So there's that. Okay. Let's go into recent events and get that over with as well. Shadowbringer's single is now available. I am not myself today. Shadowbringer's single is now out on iTunes.
Just the one.
It's just one song.
It's just a song.
It's the song. It's the song. It's the song from the trailer?
Yeah.
So you can get that on the iTunes store. Go buy it. It's only one song, but it's a good song.
Although it'll probably also be on the Shadowbringers soundtrack when they
Oh
release
yeah,
that.
yeah, of course.
And if you get one soundtrack, and I know I've not got any of them yet, but you've got to get the Shadowbringers one, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
So get your Blu-ray players ready.
Well, it's probably going to be out on Spotify eventually.
That's true, but
Like the
I
other
like
stuff.
owning.
Yeah, like a physical. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, you usually get the minion stuff with that, so
that's true.
it's worth it for that. Eternal Winds is what I was thinking about. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. In other news, there's been more DDoS attacks this week. They're sort of ramped up a little. It seems to be mostly NA, but I've seen some. I don't know if it's been targeted at Europe at all. But NA is getting slammed. Also quite interesting. I saw this clip of a streamer who had just. I don't know if they were doing some early content, and there was they had to leave Ul'dah for Western Thanalan, and he couldn't go into the zone because there was like hundreds of bots queuing outside, filling up the instance.
Yeah, that's really abusive.
Yeah, I have never seen that ever.
No,
So,
I haven't. Even on that Japanese server, that was only bots.
Yeah, that was scary to see. Like that, because they aren't zoned. Like they aren't instanced. Like there aren't different instances for that. So that must be that's a lot of bots.
Even on like day one, I don't remember, or like early around Reborn, I don't remember any of the zones getting full. I don't think I've ever seen that message before.
No.
Except in the context of like new expand. Well, not even that.
I feel like I've seen it before. I think they did it. Might have been a thing for Heavens. When did they start this?
Maybe they started the instancing for Shadowbringers. I think.
No, Stormblood, didn't they? They did for Stormblood.
Sorry, Stormblood. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have happened in Heavensward. I feel like I have a faint memory, but never seen it for any of the Realm Reborn vanilla zones.
No.
So that's sad. And that was apparently a European server as well. I think it was Spriggan. So, and that's a new server, which might explain it because they get the buff and everything. So that might be why it's so attractive for the bots to level there. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't really know what they do with them though, because who would buy it?
Yeah, that's like where. I mean, there's
always. Do you want to buy another black mage?
Yeah,
they're always black mages.
Yeah, they. I don't know. Maybe they might be just using them for gold farming. Like they gain money from the MSQ. They gain items. I don't know.
Come on, Square Enix.
Yeah, I mean
look into them.
They purge them in waves, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Figure out an easier method of reporting bots.
Yeah, it was also quite awful to see this player who was clearly not entirely familiar with 14 try to report them, and he right-clicked them, and it's like there's no way to report them. There is, but it's very complicated, and a person who's not familiar with the game wouldn't know how to do that. I don't think the game at any point tells you how to report.
No, it doesn't. But even if you're doing it the correct way, it asks for character names. So you're going to have to try and copy and paste all those gobbledygook bot names in.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It's too much. But this is hopefully at some point, this is a quality of life change we need. I know that because no one's going to... Because I think one of the arguments against it is that it would make it too easy to report people falsely. Like, you don't like a person, report them for gold selling. But
then that's
all know that
Enix issue.
Yeah, but we all know that that's investigated. They can check if you've done that. So I don't think that's.
And then surely, if you report people falsely, there would be some repercussions for you.
Yeah, it's not like you report them and then they get jailed immediately. There's someone investigates it first. So yeah, I hope that's something that at some point becomes easier to do. But yeah, we'll see. Because that, I feel like a GM could like see that. Like they'd be like, please come here and look at this. Because there were like 30 bots trying to enter the zone. It's pretty bad. Anyways, letter from the producer live, part 53 is coming up, and we now have a date. It is Wednesday, August 7th at 4 a.m. PDT, 12 p.m. BST, or noon. So it's interesting because it's released. I know they usually do a live letter right after Savage is released. I think that's how they've done it every single time. But it has no. So from what it says, during this, YoshiP will be answering Shadowbringers related questions. So head to the forum to submit your queries for him. If you've been playing Shadowbringers, now's the time to submit your questions about the latest expansion in Final Fantasy XIV. Questions will be forwarded to YoshiP, who will field as many as possible during the broadcast. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's just a Q&A for the live letter. We won't hear anything about 5.1. Do you think they will, though? Do you think there will be anything?
There's a chance, I guess, that he'll, give you a little teaser or something, but he's not going to do the whole PowerPoint slideshow and show you some of the new feats and stuff.
He might have some, confidential prints with him.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. I'm still thinking about the Ishgard restoration thing. That should be coming in 5.1, so I feel like that's the one we know the least about. And the fucking diadem stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Would be nice if we knew some.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really look at the forums for questions, really, do they? They pick what questions they want asking and answering. So they might just, come up with one like that.
Yeah. I mean,
nothing about the Alliance raid as well. We need to know more about that.
That's true. I hope. Yeah, the Q&A though is clearly the main focus here. So I hope you guys are sending in good questions because I don't. Where did the umbrella go?
The umbrella was a few years ago now.
Yeah, where did it go?
Thankfully,
where is it?
It's gone now.
I wanted the Mary Poppins mount. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, we've got worse mounts now, so it's not even. It wouldn't even bother me.
It's true. Yeah, so send in your questions if you have any. There's a thread on the official forums. Right, should we now just go straight into MogMail?
Let's do the let's do the.
Yeah, we'll do because we have a lot of MogMail, and some of the MogMail is not 14. No, sorry, not 12 related.
It's
so
not 14 related.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to MogMail. And then we'll work our way out. This is a weird episode. I know everything is wrong, but stay with us. We'll make it through this together. Here we go. Here's some MogMail, everyone. First one is from Chista Mistwalker from Louisoix. In the MSQ, it is revealed that we are part of one of the how do you pronounce this?
Amoratians.
Yeah, that had ties to Hades and Hythlodius. We are said to have been 7 times rejoined, 8 if you count Ardbert. Considering the size of that and the smaller world size of 2.0 compared to 1.0, do you think it's possible that rather than the world getting smaller, all survivors actually grew larger?
That's a real curveball of a question.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going in that direction.
Unexpected.
It's like Alice in Wonderland.
What a...
I can sort of see where they're going at, because the people in the Amorotines or whatever are huge.
They are, yes, they are huge.
And so maybe as we join, we grow.
Yeah, that's possible. Because if you remember in the cutscene where he explains the rejoinings, or sorry, he explains the sundering specifically. All the planets that come out, all the shards, are smaller than the source. So
that's true.
Well, we are from the source, though. So we would be just as large.
But then also, what's he called? Is it Varys? Who is
the Emperor?
Yeah, it's Varys.
Yeah.
When he was talking about the Ubermensch.
Yeah.
He talked about how they were split into all the different races we have now.
Yeah.
So it could be also that combining them.
Yeah.
Maybe because we're all smaller parts of the whole.
That's possible. Yeah. It's weird that it's not really addressed that much. It is addressed in the way that the tall people refer to us as children. But it's not explained why they're so big. They just are.
Yeah.
So, Garleans are larger than everyone else, aren't they? They're pretty...
That's just their armor.
Yeah, but aren't they in general taller because they got Elezen bodies, right?
They are quite tall, yeah.
Yeah.
Tall.
So, I don't know. We're not any bigger than the people in the first, either. So...
But even then, the Guardians are also a split of the true person.
Good point, Beast, with Sid. Sid is quite small. So, they aren't necessarily taller than everyone else. So, yeah, I don't know. It's we have taller races in 14, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Ellison in general. So, I don't know why we shrank. I guess that is just because we're lesser than what we were. If we are to believe what we've been told. Anyway.
It's just relative, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is.
It's just we found some big people.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We are what we are because we are a different world. I guess that was just the size they were on that world when it was one piece. Now we are smaller and larger. Some are tall. Thank you, Chista. Let's move on. Kidah Kamikaze from Famfrito Cheeto. Words cannot express how amazing the new MSQ is and how much fun I had going through it. After the big primal bomb the launch trailer gave, I found... Oh shit, this is 12. Well, no, there are... Oh god. No, wait, there's a second question. So we'll come back to this later. I'm going to jump down to the second part of this, sorry. Also, are we Emmett Selk's twin, lover, brother from another mother? What are your thoughts on that reveal? Is everyone in the world a fragmented Amoratine, or is it just the Warrior of Light? I cannot wait for the next story patch. Keep up the good work and the tinfoil theories.
That's a good question.
Oh, yeah, what are we to Emmett Selk? Because we are something.
Well, we were part of that council,
yes,
right?
Yes.
It's at least assumed we were the one who left.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing to suggest that they were all, like, screwing each other or they were all family or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then he did seem to like... Or isn't it sort of talked about that he liked that one the most?
Yeah. The whole law, whatever his name is, I think he mentions that, right? That the guy that left, he was, a close friend, it seems.
And that ends up with some difficult, like, questions and...
Yeah.
It would probably have to be something like just a really good friend.
I think that's what it is. Because I don't think we would be related. I don't think that's a thing. Although there's nothing to really that says that we can't be, but I feel like it would be more that guy would have said, I think. Like that if we were his brother or sister, he would have said.
If we were family to him or something incredibly important, Emmett would have said something, surely, before he died.
Yeah. Is everyone in the world a fragmented Amoratine?
That one's more interesting. That's a very interesting question. But then, but people in the game have children.
Yeah, that's like the people that are on Hydaelyn now are, the planet's been around for thousands of years now. They But maybe their ancestors in the beginning were. They must have been, right? That's how it's explained in the. That's what Emmett says. Because
there was an Ascian for each world, wasn't there?
Yes, some survived like fully, right? And then there were the.
Then the rubbish ones who went in they could still go in between ones, but they weren't.
He said something along the lines of like they were there and they kind of they knew that something had happened, but they didn't really know. They didn't understand or remember, and then they moved on, right? So the unbroken ones are the Ascians, and there are some on our on the source, like Emmett Selk. Emmett is from the source, right? It's so messy. Chat.
There was the group of people who are like the pure Ascians who move between worlds and stuff and do what they want.
Yeah.
And then there are the ones that are a bit lesser, so they're sort of stuck, aren't they, or something like that?
Yeah. Emmett, Selk, La Habrea, and Elidibus were never shattered. All the others were. So they were like halflings, like half Ascians, not as powerful as the others. So they are off the source. Yeah, that's how it was. So I don't think.
Yeah, paragons of the source. That's
yeah. I don't think the people of Eorzea, of Hydaelyn, living on Hydaelyn now, have anything to do with the old world now. They are their own thing. Like, that's Hydaelynians. The Ascians are. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Or is it just the Warrior of Lightness? Of light.
The Warrior of Lightness.
I think it is. I think that's how
it's probably just we're the important ones.
Yeah.
We're the splits.
Yeah.
14th member.
Yes.
And the rest are just products of the environment or whatever.
Yeah. I agree with that. Right, let's move on to thank you, Kidah, from that. We'll get back to your other question when we get to the great discussion. The next one here is from Manex, Daruko, Rexejon from Cerberus and chat. I guess
from chat.
The latter name is in chat. Hello, speakers. I've got some questions. So how bummed are you guys that we'll probably never get to know La Habrea's real name, as his addiction to hop from body to body was the reason he was easily beaten? At the end of the MSQ, the Crystal Exarch, after we go through the portal At the end of the MSQ, the Crystal Exarch, after we go through the portal, says that it's time to wake up Grahatia. Do you think that the Graha on the source will be needed to get the Scions back home without the need to kill the Crystal Exarch? If not, how do you think it'll go? And the last one, what are your thoughts on Elidibus just reusing his plan to use Warriors of Light to battle the Warriors of Darkness instead of the Warriors of Darkness against the Warriors of Light and Heavensward? You would think he would have learned that it won't work, just like the previous times he tried this method. Oh,
whoa!
Oh, I didn't.
Gray screen.
Clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, let's start with the first one. How bummed are you guys that we'll probably never get to know La Habrea's real name, as his addiction to hop from body to body was the reason he was easily beaten? We might still know his real name.
There's a chance, because there's still Elidibus.
Yeah.
So he can reveal it.
It can still be...
We might just get some huge lore dump where we look at all of them and find out everything about them.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
There's a chance.
There is still a chance. It's kind of sad, though, that that he's gone now, that we know all the stuff we know, that he's like one of the unshattered ones, the whole ones.
I assume his colleagues are aware of who he really is.
Yeah. At the end of the MSQ, the Crystal Exarch, after we go through the portal, says that it's time to wake up Grahatia. Do you think that Graha on the source will be needed to get the Scions back home without the need to kill the Crystal Exarch? If not, how do you think it will go? This question is confusing to me, because I thought it was implied that the crystal, that the Graha that we're talking to is Graha. Do you know what I mean?
I think because he kept going into the future and then woke up and did all of the stuff to get us to the first.
Yeah.
But that would still mean that currently on the source, because it's in the past,
Yeah.
there is a Graha who's sleeping still in the tower.
Hmm. Okay.
But they are the same person as well. And basically, they've almost done a J.K. Rowling here, and got themselves in a pretty sticky situation of time travel. Never do time travel in fiction. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. He should have stopped existing when we did what we did, because technically the future he's from doesn't exist anymore.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's like a Doctor Who episode, but
yeah.
I think when he says "wake up, Graha," who is he talking to? So you mean that when we went back to Tataru, Graha is still asleep in the tower?
I think technically yes, because post what we're doing with Tataru would be edging towards the 8th Umbral Calamity, and then eventually in a few hundred years he'll wake up. So yeah, he must be still having a nap.
Okay. See, that confused me when I watched it the first time, because I thought he was just talking about himself, because I thought he had forgotten after all these years, and then that was what it was like, just start remembering, but he already did remember, so I don't know.
But then here's what's going to happen, is that if the Graha on the source wakes up, and the 8th Umbral Calamity somehow never happens in the end, he's not going to teleport himself into the future, and therefore actually we're not going to... There's
another paradox. We're going to rip the fabric of reality apart.
Exactly.
because if the Graha in the tower is somehow woken up by us for some reason, then the Graha on the first will suddenly start getting memories from that.
Exactly. If they somehow connect and the Exarch comes to the source, that would also
Exarch can't
imply
come
that
to the source. That would break everything.
The 8th Umbral Calamity has happened. The first can't exist, basically.
We know, guys, we know about the other timeline being cancelled. We know that because we saw Xenos kill Varys, which means Black Rose is not going to happen. The Calamity just isn't happening now. But
it's not going to happen.
Or at least that's what it looks like now.
Yeah.
Which means that Graha's future never happened.
They're sort of split now. I guess the game's gonna try and...
There's another theory. Yeah. There's another theory about paradoxes like this, is that if that happens, the Calamity still happens, but in a different
one universe where it happens.
So that's probably more along. I don't know. We'll see, I guess, because there's the artifact you get before the twinning, the voice record, the data log or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That shouldn't exist either. Yet it does, from a future that doesn't exist. So there's that.
Yeah, it's too much to think about.
I'm looking forward though, because this will have to be part of the story going forward. Like what we don't know if they're going to touch on what Graha's. Well, of course they will. They're going to have to resolve Graha's story at some point. So we'll probably see more of that.
I mean, they made time travel quite fun and almost work with the Alex raid, where you see yourself saving yourself, and that was pretty fun. So they might figure it out.
Yeah. Last one. What are your thoughts on Elidibus just reusing his plan to use Warriors of Light to battle the Warriors of Darkness instead of the Warriors of Darkness against the Warrior of Light in Heavensward? You would think he would have learned that it won't work, just like the previous times he tried this method.
Yeah, I don't know what he really meant by his ending message.
No.
So that's going to get pretty dry pretty quickly if he just sends some more random people against us.
Yeah. I don't know what his end game here is. I have a feeling there's something we're not seeing, that maybe he's planning to do this. That this maybe I don't.
Maybe it's just like something to do with another planet.
Yeah, Because now I'm like feeling like Elidibus is an idiot, like an airhead. He doesn't know. He's just surely if I just throw more warriors at them, you know, eventually I will win. But I mean, he's a villain.
He is a villain.
An idiot. I don't know. I think he's there. I think there's a greater plan at work here that we're not privy to right now. For like, we don't even know why he's on the moon. Like, why is he on the? Well, we have an inkling of an idea
just
because
safe space.
According to, well, I guess right now we would call it Hydaelinian lore. Zodiark resides in the moon, right?
Yeah.
Because he was banished to become like a lunar body
and became the moon.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah. So there's something about the moon that the Asians like because it has some trace of Zodiark.
Surely it can't be actually.
No,
I like the theory, but what we've learned.
How sad would that be? Like Hydaelyn has this lush planet, and Zodiark has this dry fucking moon with no one on it. I don't know. It would be very.
And why did he bring the Warriors of Darkness to the moon that one time?
Yeah, why? Yeah, because that was when he gave him the instructions, right, of what to do. Wasn't that what? That's just his base of operations.
Like, come into my office.
Yes.
By the way.
I guess it's their like office. It's like their office off base, like off planet.
Yeah.
Because that's the one place we can't go, right? We can't go to the moon.
But then all of the shards has a moon, right?
Do they?
Well,
yes, they do. I know the first definitely has a moon. I've seen it many times.
So let's just assume they all do. But even if they didn't, you know, at least another one has a moon. They can't both be Zodiac.
That's true. Oh, but there were fragments of him, right? Because he was shattered. So each moon is a piece of Zodiac. So we have to, because he was split, right?
I suppose,
so it kind of makes sense.
That's just weird.
Yeah, the moon on the first is it bigger or is it just more prominent in the sky? I am.
It's probably just a skybox or something.
Yeah, it's just a better skybox. Yeah, but we know there's definitely something up with the moon and Zodiark, and obviously since Elidibus is on the moon, it's sort of, and also there was that symbol on the moon as well. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I feel like we have to go to the moon at some point now. Even though it's not,
that'll be weird.
Won't be much fun on the moon from what we've seen. It looks like our moon. It's just desolate and small.
Yeah.
But
they'll add mobs to it, even though it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they'll add moon mobs. What would a moon mob be like?
Probably those blobs with the hands.
Knockers.
And
moon knockers.
Moon knockers.
Moonboos.
Moonboos.
Yeah, moonboos. Lesser Asians. That's a good. Moon sprite.
Moon sprite.
They'll just have loads of moon sprites.
Moon crystals from it.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Moon gobbies. I could. Moon gobbies. I meant moon goblins.
Moon gobbies.
Oh. No. Well. Anyways, the moon mystery. Don't understand it. That wasn't the question. It was all about Elidibus being stupid. I don't think he's stupid. No, he's not stupid.
No, he's not. He's the cleverest one.
Think about where they came from. They came from a very like scholarly society. So he is, and he was like.
Which one's still alive? Elidibus.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. There you go. So that should.
You can call him cowardly or whatever for hiding away in the shadows, but you know.
But he's still alive.
He's the one who's bid his time.
Yeah. He is now the only one left of the.
Pretty sad.
Pure Asians. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's now going to be probably the main threat going forward.
They'll.
And Xenos on the source, obviously, but I can't believe Xenos is back. I don't.
Yeah, it's awkward. Because originally, when it was the Elidibus inhabit Xenos' body thing, I thought, well, do you know what? At least the real Xenos is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then they've just... He would have been a good villain if the Stormblood story had ended when it did the friend thing.
Yeah.
And people wouldn't hate him as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he just keeps coming back. It's just annoying.
Yeah. Oh, Gabranth. Wait, that was the judge. God, there's so much to keep track of.
Oh yeah, what the hell was all that judge stuff in the Evilise raid as well?
I don't think we're supposed to think about that until 6.0, probably.
Yeah.
Let's
not lose sleep over it.
Yeah. I think that's what we were talking about before that. I started thinking about Gabranth, and now I just lost track of what we were talking about.
Talking about the Xenos.
Oh, Xenos. Yeah, I don't know why they decided to bring him back. It's not like... Did people really like Xenos that much that they had to bring him back? Really? Oh, it's you. It's your fault.
I liked the fight early on where he just destroyed you and you thought, you know what? This is a formidable foe.
Mm.
And then he sort of stalked your every footstep throughout while you're trying to do everything. He didn't care about Garlemald. He didn't care about, furthering the nation's goals. He just wanted to get you. And he was like this ever-looming presence. And then you had the final battle, and he did the friend thing, which I liked. And then it was over.
The only thing. But then they kept he referenced it again at the end of the story. And I'm like, please
that was bad.
Please don't cheapen it even more. I think... Yeah. I think his motivation is a little empty. I don't.
It is empty, but it worked in Stormblood. It no longer works. He was fine in the context of one expansion.
In the expansion story, and that I didn't like what happened to him after. I thought there was more to it, that he had to jump bodies, that he would learn more and develop more as a character.
Oh no, he's developed less. He's devolved.
Yeah, nothing happened with that. We just saw him as an Ellison, and then as an Imperial officer, or not even that. We only saw him in the uniform, and that was about it. Really, of his adventures.
Think about his old interactions with Yotsuyu and how he was completely powerful over her. And yet when we fought her, she was trying to be really big and whatever. But as soon as Xenos was in the room, she was like a child again.
Yeah.
So he did have some depth, and not a lot.
Well, see, that's the thing. I thought, okay, right now he doesn't feel like he's got a lot of depth. The reason they brought him back alive is so that we can see character development. But then the patches go on, and we see no character development. In fact, he just keeps saying the same stuff that he's been saying since the beginning, and then he comes back, jumps out of the fake body into his own body, and he's literally the same Xenos that we met in Stormblood. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
I would have just left him to die on the menagerie.
Yeah. I could have been fine with the body jump thing if there was character development. Because I thought he would now have to be forced to live among people, because he obviously can't go to Garlemald, and he was in an Alamegan thing, so maybe he would have to live in or around Alamigo, and he would learn from the people around how what the Empire had done and stuff. None of that happened. Well, I realized almost from the beginning that wasn't going to happen, because he was very violent, and his initial thing was stealing the flying thing.
That was
just
cool.
Going off. Yeah. But yeah, that's we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
But he killed Varys. Also killed Varys. We're going way off here, but it's fine. Varys was built up before Shadowbringers. Remember when we had the scene where his face turned dark? He had that whole speech about the perfect being and all that.
Yeah.
All of that is thrown out the window now that he's been killed.
I thought he was being built up. He told us like the truth of Garlemald.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought he was building up to almost like he was a prisoner of the Asians and he wanted our help
Yeah.
deep down to get rid of them, and then he could have Garlemald as what he wants.
Yeah.
Then he suddenly was like, actually, no, I do want the rejoining to happen. I was like, hang on a sec, we weren't talking about that a minute ago. And now they just got rid of him. It's like they didn't quite know what to do with him.
That's the annoying part, because we all thought, oh, he's probably turning. There's some character development in Varys.
Yeah.
And then he just turns, and somehow I'm like, okay, I'm still on board with this, because something has clearly made him change his mind and made him weird. And then we get the ominous shot, and then in the fucking expansion, the only time he's on screen is when he gets killed.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And if he was supposed to be a red herring, which I don't understand why, is red herring for what? For just Xenos to come back and be Xenos?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
We need 5.1.
Yeah, we need 5.1. Need
have
to
a little bit of clarity on that.
Yeah, yeah. So let's. Anyways, we're doing MogMail.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Manex, Daruko / Rexejon.
Thank you. Because let's go on to the next one, which is from. Okay, this one is from Barbalay from Behemoth. Barbalay. Now that Myststalker has been defeated, what do you suppose will happen to all those clones of Solace on the source?
Good question.
That's a good question.
They'll still be there. I think they'll still be around.
They'll just rot.
Yeah. That could be a dungeon maybe later on where it's just like all these hanging clones.
That's a clever way to save on development costs. All the enemies are just Solace.
Yeah. The 3 bosses, which are all just him as well.
They're just Solace, just different sizes. They grow as you go on. I don't know. They'll just stay there. How long can you keep a body? Asking for a friend.
Oh yeah. Hang on a sec. Well, they were obviously going to be preserved in some sort of ecto glue.
Yeah, some pickle. They pickle them.
Vinegar. He stinks. It's like a jar of beetroot.
Yeah.
I think they'll either rot or they'll not be mentioned again.
Yeah. So just so I remember, just a quick recap of that. They were made for Myststalker, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Nice way to get that model back though, because I really like the Solace model.
Yeah.
And like how it's animated and everything about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Almost sad that he's gone. We lose Myststalker, but we get Xenos back. Come on.
I know. I would really like Myststalker a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bay Barbalay.
Thanks, Bay Barbalay.
You have a very good name.
Bay Barbalay.
Let me load up the next one here. From Althena Rolair from Ultros. Out of the 5 Realm Reborn Beast tribes, 3 are present on the first. The Ixali are missing for obvious reasons. However, the Sylph are also missing. Was there a reason for that? Or perhaps are they pixies?
That's a good question.
So we did a little bit of research before this. Because we have to think about what the source is like and how the Sylphs came to be in our world, and why they wouldn't come to be on the first. So basically, the Sylphs were... What were they before? They were just...
They basically were like some sort of forest spirit or something. They have an origin story in the first lore book, but although I've read it before this, I've forgotten half of it. But they were something that came after man.
Yes, man came first, and then the Sylphs came.
Was destroying the forest, and they were crying out for help. So they could have been the trees, they could have been just forest spirits.
Yeah.
And Rolga / Ramu heard their pleas and He struck lightning to stop men, and then the cabbages formed in the trees, and now they're sylphs.
Yeah. Basically, as a response to man's slaughter of whatever they were before.
And now they protect the forest.
Yeah. There's it's possible that just didn't happen on the first, and obviously their way of they don't seem to really have primals in the sense that we have them, and
no,
there wouldn't be a precedent for that to happen. Also, the equivalent of the Black Shroud on the first is the Raktika Lahi Great Woods, and they don't have elementals even.
No, that's true. They've just got Viera.
Yeah, they have Viera, and I think they just there was no reason for them to come into being. I don't think they're pixies.
No, pixies are
annoying
fae.
And mean. Yeah, they're fae, but they're also they don't share any they don't really. Sylphs are very kind creatures.
Sylphs are amazing. They're so lovely little cabbages.
Yeah.
Some of them have glasses.
They have little
so
cabbage
lovely.
glasses.
Yeah. Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah. I wonder, do they... Well, of course they do. They're craft. They craft. We learned that in the quest.
They do crystals and something else.
They're very good traders, aren't they?
Yeah.
They do trades with the humans. Yeah, I just don't think they've been lucky enough to get the sylphs on the first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've got not as many good things.
Yeah, they also don't have...
Certainly not the pixies, they're awful.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have the pixies. Yeah, so, yeah, I think that's just what it is. There was just no reason for them to exist on the first.
No.
Okay, thank you, Althena. Now we have to go to number 8. That's from... that's the one we were...
Yeah.
Here we go. Now we can do this one. This one's from Linn from Sargatanas. The hype around Shadowbringers has rekindled an old fear that it will attract new players, period. No. Who play until just after the long stop, then just stop. Most of us agree that Square Enix should do something, but what specifically? Would it be sufficient for the quest up to Titan to be tightened up, or is something more extreme needed? With the introduction of New Game Plus, we'd all love a reason to revisit A Realm Reborn content. A reason such as a glorious revision of A Realm Reborn MSQ that speeds up the 1 to 50 leveling process while doing away with any MSQ quests that seems frivolous. Many have said in recent weeks that nothing less than this is required in order to prevent new players from leaving the game. Yet in a recent video, Mr. Happy disputed the need for this, reminding his viewers that the 1 to 50 journey through the still charming, still beautiful 2.0 zones is a major part of why we all love this game in the first place. Also, no matter what Square Enix does with the Realm Reborn content, the monthly fee will always be the biggest barrier for any new player. What do you folks think? Best, Kai. I don't know why that keeps happening.
Thank you. Must have a timer on it.
I think so. I think it just runs out without stopping.
When the animation ends.
It just shuts the video off.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. I know this is a touchy topic. This is a difficult one.
It gets people riled very much.
It does. So, let's be careful. I love A Realm Reborn, of course, but I know that people struggle with certain parts of the game. Like there are specific points of the game where the game sort of for seemingly no reason, but clearly for padding purposes, slows down quite a lot. And one of them being the pre-Titan quest line, where they tease Titan for you very early. Like you feel like you're about to go fight him. Do you remember the Titan storyline?
No, not at all.
No.
I remember the man in the leopard skin pants.
Yeah, he's part of it. But it takes like I don't know the number. 20 quests maybe? 15 to 20 quests before you actually get to Titan. From the first time you're told to go out and kill Titan to you actually get to Titan. And a lot of it is like just fetching, but there's some interesting tidbits as well, which is annoying. It's the guy with the the fucking, what's his name? I don't even know what his name is. But the guy in Lenosia, what's the Company of Heroes?
Yeah,
He's from the Company of Heroes.
Track tool, yeah.
Yeah. So that part is very long, and it's so annoying because it's part of content that Square Enix usually teases quite a lot. They often use Titan as one of the, promotional materials. They even did it in I can't say that spoilers, but anyways, that's one. I don't know why just after Long Stop, is that a thing as well? I can't remember what happens after Long Stop.
Long Stop. I don't really. It's been a long time since I played Realm Reborn.
It's but I know that a Realm Reborn can be tedious at times. And then we've talked about the patch quests later, that I feel like they could have easily trimmed down. I say easily. There is story that needs to be conveyed differently, but there's some stuff with the Realm Reborn. They've acknowledged it too, that they're looking at it, they're looking into it, because it is sad. Because although I agree that a Realm Reborn is how we fell in love with the game. That's true. Mm-hmm. A lot of people want to get to the good quote unquote good stuff fast, and a Realm Reborn is like the biggest hindrance right now. I feel like a lot of it. Don't cut any important bits out. Maybe remove a few fetch quests. Do we need that one quest where we pick up a fucking coin? I don't know. Like, there are loads of those quests. That's a side
quest in all
I know, but that's all I could think of right now. But there's...
And you have to pick up loads of her coins. And
that's an annoying quest.
Anyway.
That's an annoying quest.
It's just to give you a tiny bit of XP.
Yeah. But I don't think we need a lot of change, though. I don't think
I feel like this game is very different from other MMOs. Purely because of the story, and
I know, but that's my second point, is that a Realm Reborn is no longer representative for what the game is now. Do you know what I mean? I think you need to play the game again, Maela. Do a Realm Reborn, just so you can see how it is, because the game has evolved from then. Like they had to they did a lot of padding in the story sometimes.
I guess they did, yeah.
And they just don't do that anymore. And I think that's for the better.
I just don't remember it being much of an issue though on my first.
No, but big disclaimer, you have only done one character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's all you've ever done. So you haven't really seen it in retrospect. But have you seen other people play the game? Have you seen any streamers starting a game? No. But I've seen a lot. And a lot of them either stop, struggle, or question whether they should continue through a Realm Reborn. And all the time, people in chat are like, please just keep going. It gets better. We promise it gets better when you get to Heavensward. And of course, watching the end of a Realm Reborn's cutscene. And I think that's indicative of something. There's the fact that we have to keep, telling people to keep playing because it gets better. There's something wrong somewhere. That said, I still love a Realm Reborn, and they don't have to really do anything for me because I love the world and I love the lore. But I'm thinking about new players that might fall off.
I mean, I guess I've already played it, so if they took it out now, at least I can say I've done that. But I think it would be unfair for anyone who jumps in to realize after the fact that they've now missed out on
Well, that's the thing.
X amount of content.
You shouldn't miss out on X amount of... What do you mean content?
Or
Picking up a vase and putting it on a table is not content loss.
But there's some, like... There are things happening within quest lines that may be a boring
should
quest
never
line.
be removed.
No.
So...
But you might be doing a quest line where you put a vase on a table, but then it ends up having a cutscene where somewhere else in the world something actually important happens.
Yeah. Which is why I think it's so difficult to fix it. Because
it is difficult.
Yeah, they weaved it all very... Like, everything is... I don't think you can just easily remove, like, a quest without messing up something further down the line. So...
the story's probably the best part of this game, but it's also gonna be its Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, because what I'm afraid of is that people are gonna eventually be like, you have to buy a skip potion if you want to play 14. You have to buy a story skip potion for Realm Reborn.
In a few years' time.
Yeah. And I feel like that wouldn't be the case if A Realm Reborn was paced the same way as, say, Heavensward or even Stormblood, to a degree. It probably wouldn't...
Even then, though, having to do that much content is... In some MMOs, you'll jump in. You will still have to run through, dungeons and zones and whatever, but most of them aren't very story-focused. It's just grab the quests, do them, and win. And there's, like, different paths. Like, they might add a new expansion where it's got the whole 1 to 50 content again, but in a new area.
Yeah.
This game can't do that. We can't have a new 1 to 50 experience that you can do instead of A Realm Reborn. You'll always have to do A Realm Reborn.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you'll always have to do Heavensward, and you'll always have to do Stormblood, and then Shadowbringers. You'll always have to do that in order. Every new person who joins this game is going to have to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's good and bad.
Yes. I mean, it's good because you get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So I mean, you get like 4 RPGs with A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers. Yeah. So in a way, that's good. That's not what I'm saying is problematic. What I'm saying is problematic is that sometimes there's like a lot of quests without any content, like where you don't do dungeons, you don't do a trial, you don't even do a guild test. You are just stuck doing pick up and place quests and stuff like that, and that might be a bit tedious for people. That's all I'm saying.
It might be, but then
how they're going to solve this?
Compensate for that, they're going to have to increase the XP gain for the last quest or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you'll have this one quest that gives you like 1 million XP randomly out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very difficult thing to solve.
The thing I want to say though is that because I know not every game needs to be for everyone. I understand that, but A Realm Reborn isn't what the game is anymore. So we're losing people that would enjoy Shadowbringers because they don't understand. They're afraid that A Realm Reborn is all the game is. Do you know what I mean?
I do, but we still need all the lore from A Realm Reborn.
I know the lore is important. That's the problem. I know that's always going to be I don't think it's the lore that's.
I don't really know what kills the game for some people. Some people just come in expecting to get to the end, I guess.
There's a lot of quests in A Realm Reborn where there's no voice acting. It's just dry story told just in waves and then go place a vase on a table. Do you know?
Yeah.
That's the pace at some point. I don't know. To me, though, fine. I'll deal with it. A Realm Reborn is a lovely game. I love it. Obviously, I wouldn't do this podcast if I didn't. But looking to the future, that's my big fear, is that 14 is getting old. And if people are scared off from the game due to A Realm Reborn, we're going to have a problem eventually when, because right now we're in a golden age, so it's hard to see that. But eventually that's going to happen. The numbers are going to decline. They're going to go down.
Yeah, I fear that it might not be the longest golden age. And now would be a good time for them to start considering streamlining some of the early stuff.
Yeah.
Because once the MMO shuts down, no one will be able to play any of it anyway.
Yeah, That's
So
right.
they might as well try and get as many people to experience it.
Yeah. Squig, that's true. I will voice all the cutscenes. Just Square Enix.
Oh god, not like Rambros.
Yes. Right. So that's the big thing with an MMO in general, is that you need to make sure that you replenish for the people that leave. People leave MMOs all the time, and it's harder to get people in than to get them off.
Exactly.
So,
God's sake.
Don't clip that. Right. So, how they're gonna fix it is a mystery to me. I don't know how they can do it, because again, removing quests is like, that's a big deal, especially like with how linked all the quests in A Realm Reborn are.
Yeah.
And that's like you said, sometimes you're putting a vase on a table, but then there's a cutscene showing like this pivotal moment in the story. So
it's like with the patch quest, which everyone hates, the Realm Reborn to Heavens with patch quest.
Yeah.
I understand why people hate them. Believe me, I do. But you'll have like an important section on the Crystal Braves.
Yeah.
You'll then have an interim period of putting jars on tables.
Yeah.
But within every like 2 or 3 quests of those, it'll be like, this is what's still happening at the Rising Stones, or here's what's going on in this part of the world.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, they already did some trimming on the Realm Reborn patch quest. They removed like the need to do guild tests, I believe, because at some point they make you literally go back and do old dungeons with no added bonuses or anything.
Yeah.
And they even put guild tests in there. Now they removed the guild test, but I think because you had to do the turtle one, which is why you always got the tortoise guild test when you did roulettes. And then Karn normal. Yes, that's still in there. Bullshit like that they should remove. That is padding for padding's sake.
There's a lot they could still trim off.
Yeah.
Just have a look into that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Square Enix.
Thank you, Square Enix, for considering our suggestions. Yeah,
you can hire us if you like.
Yeah, so I think I think we've said how we feel about that.
Like the question says as well, with the introduction of new Game Plus.
Yeah.
Playing the story through with a friend can sometimes people join the game to play with their friend who's already max level.
Yeah.
If I could restart the story on a new job and do the quest and still gain XP on that job, I would happily do that to like a new friend who's joined the game.
Yeah.
Because then I can level an alt job without having to spam through rubbish content like Palace of the Dead, and then they would not be lonely and hate the game so much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Kai Linn, patron detected. Right. Our last non-12 related MogMail comes to us from Vox Concora from Siren NA. Hi guys, another patron detected. I joined your Patreon today, but I have watched all of your content, favorites being your 1.0 specials. Thank you. I got a PS3 2.0 beta code randomly, and 6 years later I'm on my Razer laptop, not sponsored, while leading my FC Ixion Virtuosi in our Limsa mansion. Thank you for your passion and keep strong. Thank you. So my actual question. I main white mage, black mage usually, but 3 and 4... What? But 3 and 4 was going to be my paladin and ast at 70, maybe even summoner, seeing how I grew with these classes for the past 6 years. What is the easiest way to teach an old dog new tricks, aka coming back to a foreign feeling job? Ooh, that's a wide, difficult question.
Mega hard to do that.
There is no good way to come back. If it feels foreign to you, you have to just look up guides, I guess, and then find a training dummy and just figure out the rotations, either by watching guides or figuring it out yourself. That's what I did.
Think about how you feel when you unlocked Dancer and Gunbreaker.
Yeah.
You've suddenly got 15 skills and you don't have a clue how they link. I just run up to a dummy and like press my 1 key, see what highlights, and work out the skill chains and what my off globals are and what everything does.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take too long, but you have to just stick with it.
Yeah. It'll come to you eventually. Especially if you've played it before. I mean, it is still the same job, unless you were a machinist.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it'll come back to you.
Yeah. Also, if you say you've watched all your content, have you watched the Forest highlights video?
That
Vox
doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Thank you, Vox. Let me know.
I'll also, I know that the MogMail sounds are air deafening. I'm gonna fix that for the next episode.
We'll lower that next time.
Yeah. Speaking of air deafening, I think that's the end of this, and I think it's time to go into the great discussion because I can't believe time is running out. Okay, so let's go. Here is the great discussion. Right, so the great discussion now, of course, being the 12. Do they exist? This is the question, isn't it? This is the one. This is a very difficult question to answer, but we're going to discuss this today. And near the end of this discussion, we'll open a poll, so you viewers can join in, and we'll have both sides represented here, or all three sides, depending on whether we agree or not. Let's see here. We have. I think we should just start with the creation myth, just so we can get it out of the way. We'll be referencing it a little bit. So I have a recording that I did for a previous. We were supposed to discuss this at an earlier point, but then Shadowbringers came, and there was just no time.
Yeah.
So let's just sit back and listen to the actual creation myth, and then we'll come back after that. Here we go! In the beginning, there was neither light nor darkness, only the whirl. And it was not until Althic emerged thence in his nakedness did time take its first step forward. With him, the Keeper also carried weight, and with weight were the realms of land and firmament defined. Yet Althic would not be alone over long, for soon from the whirl did another step forth. Her name was Nemea, and she was but a mewling babe who could do naught but weep, and soon her tears had created a vast lake. Althic, seeking companionship in the empty realm of his creation, took the young goddess under his wing and cared for her as one would a daughter. As Nemea grew, however, so too did their love for one another, until it could no longer be contained, culminating in a divine coupling which resulted in the birth of two holy daughters, Azema, the sun, and Menphina, the moon, and with their advent was day and night conceived. So did countless cycles of light and darkness pass, before, from the whirl, once again did another step forth. Thaliak, bearer of wisdom and knowledge, looked upon the silent and unchanging lake left by Nemea's tears, and coaxed from it a river to carry that water to the far corners of the realm. Azema, drawn to Thaliak's sagacity, professed her love to the new deity, and begot him two daughters, the first being Linn, who took the water created by her grandmother and expanded it into the world's seas. The second daughter was lonely Nofika, who, wanting for companionship, created her own playmates and thus brought life into the world. It was not until life had spread throughout the land and newly created seas that a new god appeared, though whence the others did not know, for the world lay dormant. His name was Oshan, and where he wandered did towering mountains rise from level plains. With the formulation of these spires did cold wind flow from on high down to the warm seas and back up again, carrying life that was once reserved for land and water into the skies. Those winds did bring love into the heart of Linn, Yet though she longed to be with Aushon, his wanderlust prevented the two from ever being joined over long, and lo did they never beget children of their own. This was a time of great creation, but also of great chaos. Aushon's mountains rose and fell at his whims, Thaliak's rivers flooded hither and thither, and Limlane's seas ever expanded, swallowing entire swatches of land before the gods even knew they were gone. To bring order to this chaos, Nemea pried forth a mighty comet from the heavens and gave it life, directing it down to the world that it may destroy the excess her sons and daughters had wrought, while bringing harmony once again to the realm. And for many days and nights was the world calm, the gods content in the order which now reigned supreme. That is, until the world woke from its slumber and beckoned forth two final deities, Byragot and his younger sister, Halone. It was feared that the untamed and ambitious siblings might once again usher chaos onto the world. So to see that they were properly disciplined, Nemea quickly made them wards of Ralgar the Destroyer. A builder by nature, Byragot resented his new stepfather, who could teach him only of destruction, choosing instead to spend most of his time in the tutelage of Thaliak. The scholar bestowed upon his eager student the knowledge he would use to forge the tools and techniques of creation. Though more open to her new father's teachings, Halone too grew restless, longing to test her strength. An opportunity arose when Aushon invited the young goddess on one of his journeys. It was during these travels that Halone's ambition slowly transformed into a lust for battle. While on the road, she would challenge every creature she met, honing her skills and methodically devising new techniques for killing. When Naufika, mother of the life, learned of Halone's wanton destruction of her creations, she was angered beyond words and swore revenge. But the Fury ignored the matron's challenges, widening the rift between the two. Aushon, feeling responsible for this rift, devised a plan to calm Naufika. From within the mountains of his creation, Aushon summoned a fount of magma which spewed forth onto the land. Upon cooling, the magma took the form of the 12th and final god, the dual-aspected Nalthal. With Nalthal, Aushon had provided a god to oversee the souls of those who met their deaths and provide them with peace in the afterlife. Satisfied that her creations would no longer wander the void aimlessly, Naufika agreed to a truce with Halone. And with the advent of the 12th and final god was the pantheon complete. But before they could call an end to their toil, they first required a realm in which they could reside and watch over their myriad creation. To this end, they created the 7 heavens, and to there did they finally retreat, bequeathing rule of Eorzea to mankind.
There's the creation myth, as it is written in the lore book.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, that was more or less all we knew about the 12. Well, we didn't even know this. We didn't even know the creation myth. Originally, we just knew that they were gods of Eorzea, or not of Eorzea. They were just gods that they worshipped in Eorzea.
Mm-hmm.
They're said to have ruled. So this is also some lore that we knew. They are said to have ruled the continent and its surrounding islands until the arrival of wandering tribes. Impressed by the resilience of the primitive settlers, each of the 12 mercifully saw fit to ensure their welfare. And that's where the tradition of choosing a patron deity for your city-state comes from, I think. So now, while we've talked about the 12 quite a lot on this podcast, because I am always attracted to the parts of the lore that we don't get a lot of insight into, because I don't know why. It's because it's there, but we never get no one elaborates on it ever. It's just they're there. But this is a fantasy game.
Yeah.
they're there for. They have to be there. There must be something because people. So the people that there were two. There were many theories though, but there were two predominant ones. There one that they're real but dormant, and two. Or well, there are three. Two that they're just regular folks that through generations have just been heightened up like gods. And the third one, that they don't exist. It's just a fairy tale. This is a fantasy game, though, and I feel like they might be projecting... That might be just us projecting more of like a Earth logic.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a world that has a fucking crystal commanding that is made. we were split into 13 pieces. Now, if you think about it that way, the 12 being real isn't that far fetched. So where do we begin? I guess our main question is whether or not they exist.
Yeah.
So for us to make a decision about that we need to look at all the signs that are pointing towards their existence. The thing about the 12 too is that we don't have any. There's no real location tied to them. Like, we don't know where they lived. We don't know where they like first, like where the world was. We only really have the stones, but they are placed by man. And even though in the beginning of the living on a prayer quest with Louisoix, he's like, wow, these glyphs have manifested all over Eorzea. And then eventually he's like, oh, I did that. So, yeah.
Yeah, but then the 12 also, like, going to Othard, they have Kami, and they have their own worship. They don't have the 12.
They do have... It is pointed out that by someone who... You might be in chat, but... Azim's step. Azim might be Azema.
That's true.
And
there are some
the sun and moon
them,
stuff.
Yeah.
There
are some similar, but then it almost seems like just like, you know, it's still like you're worshipping just a god, but in a different way, or they just happen to form the same ideas.
Yeah. There's also the church from Mericidia that you see in Alcisla. It's got the symbol of Menfina.
Everything in Azisla was taken from...
Not Menfina, it's the other one. Is it Azema? I think it might have been Azema. So it seems like this religion is quite widespread, although not so much in Othard. In Othard, we don't really... They have the Kami. That's more or less it seems. I want to ignore Othard a little bit, because we know... Because Othard does not line up with Eorzean lore. Like, calamities and stuff, we've talked about this before, doesn't seem to affect Othard at all. So, that's what bothers me with Othard, honestly. It's like, Othard is like, oh yeah, you do that stupid stuff over in Eorzea. We do shit this way here. Every time in Othard, I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, can we have, like, something? We're on the same planet. So proof of their existence is difficult because of, you know, there not being any physical traces of them. But there is the issue with Ramu, which is theorized to be Ralgar.
That's true.
But then, that begs the other question, is it actually Ralgar, or is it a primal summoning of Ralgar?
But then, why... I don't think primals can create life. They can temper things.
Yeah.
But the creation myth of the Sylph indicates that they were brought into existence as cabbages by Ramu.
Yeah.
But then that means there's actually just one of the 12 wandering around the 12's wood.
Yeah, that would be very intriguing, because but because where were the others? Why is he
exactly
left behind?
He's also the most like depicted and widespread, pretty much. He's in Rorga's Reach. He's in Dun Skaith.
Yeah.
He's in. I think he's in like some of the other Void Ark stuff.
Yeah,
he's everywhere.
Yeah. And you brought up Void Ark. There you go. He was a god there as well.
Yeah.
So it's strange seeing how when a civilization dies in Eorzea or on Hydaelyn, we lose pretty much everything from what they used to be. Like, there's hardly anything left of. Well, I would say that about the Allegan Empire, but to be honest, there's quite a lot left of it now. We have a lot, but Gelmora, for instance, being one. Like, we hardly know anything about Gelmora. Most of it is lost to time. Yet the 12 seems to be quite consistently a survivor through all this. And the church, the cathedral, now what is it called? The Sanctum, was built in the 5th Astral, I think, which was after Lorebook time. I think it was built in the 5th. I feel like we've talked about this before. Let's just quickly brush through here. The Age of Enlightenment, yes. So that was in the Forgotten Age. Ironic. No, after the Forgotten Age. So it's the... Good lord, when is this? That's the 5th Astral Era. Yeah, there we go. Still doesn't prove the existence, though. Because religion can be difficult to crush. So I think that might not prove anything. That's just religion.
Exactly. And we're in a world where our dreams can become manifest.
Yeah.
Which in a way is kind of basically what the Amora teens did.
Yeah. That's true. There are many, so we can't prove their existence this way. Like, we can't point at that and be like, they touched this, therefore they must be real. No. So because this happened so long ago, our planet might have looked different. Like, what's the island Limsa is on? Vilbrand might have still been a part of Aldenard, while the 12 were around. So,
this myth is the creation of the planet, remember, as well.
Yeah.
This could very well be pre-Hydaelyn.
This could have been pre-Hydaelyn.
And now that we know she is a summoned primal after Zodiac.
Yeah. And I think that's what opened a few doors now with Shadowbringers, is that we are the source. So does that mean that the 12 created the world that that Emmet, like the Asians, lived on?
It would. I mean, if you follow the myth, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Happen. But then, like it's being pointed out in chat, the other shards, or at least the first, doesn't really discuss
exactly. That's the other problem here, because if that was the case, then that religion would spread to every single.
And then also Emmett Selk saying you're 12, as in that's what you guys believe, but that is just sort of something that you made up.
Yeah. I think we can go to some MogMail. We still have MogMail, guys. But these are 12 related MogMails, so we're gonna jump to this MogMail here. I think we'll do number 3, I think, and then we will. Sorry, I have to lean forward. Okay, careful with your ears. I'm gonna lower the volume right now. Isn't that nice? Anakin Therese, Ragnarok, patron detected. Now that we are discussing spoilers, what are your opinions on the 12 now? So, After speaking with the specters of Amarot in their doomed city, I began to piece some things together. The ancients had convened a council of 14 to summon Zodiark to save their world. However, we left that council in protest, bringing the council to 13. We know that they summoned Zodiark, and many died doing so. However, what if we left and gathered 11 more ancients to summon Hydaelyn, thus making the total number 12? Remember, the Mughals did say they served the 12 before the 12 departed, giving way to other races such as the Hur, Mikote, Ellison, Lullafell, Rogadon, etc. This would align with current lore of Amarot and when the star splintered. Hold on. Whoop. Oh, here it goes again. Sorry, I had to fix that. Sorry. And when the star splintered, we left, and in its place other races were created. If we, the Warrior of Light, is one member of the Blessed 12, I wonder which one we were. Will we gather more story in later patches of 5.0, 6.0? Who the other ancients 11... Sorry, God, I'm having strokes. Who the other ancients 11 were, and what role did they play that eventually gave us a sense of deity and their namesake for thousands of years to come? Question. Okay. So, this is interesting for many reasons, and I think we actually need to open another one, which I think... Is it this one? Yes. Is it the one where you... Because we... well, hold on, I'm sorry. Dead air.
Yeah, good question, Anna.
Good question, Anna. We're going to answer it in a little bit. I'm pretty sure there was one with the...
There was one we picked. It was number...
Oh, it's number 7?
7.
Okay. Number 7. Makes no sense for our viewers or listeners. Sorry, we're 2 people today. Reduced cast. 7. Here we go. Okay, so we'll remember Anna's MogMail, and then also this one. From Kalyana Daya from Zodiark. Greetings. I'll try to make this as short as I can, but I fear it won't work out too well. First of all, I subscribe to Rollo's theory about the 12 being the ones who summoned Hydaelyn, which we didn't give him enough credit for.
Yeah.
My memory is a bit hazy on what we learned in Amarot and exactly how many people there were siding with Zodiark. I think it was 13, correct me if I'm wrong. That is correct. I also don't remember if we were supposedly part of the 13 and left, making it 12, or if it was 14 and then became 13 after we left. That is the correct thing. Became 13 after we left.
Yeah.
Anyways, I donned my tinfoil Indiana Jones hat and took 3 friends with me to the Kitana Ravel, where I had a closer look at the cave paintings. One of them in particular, the one that shows people worshipping both Zodiark and Hydaelyn. On Zodiark's side, you can see 12 people. The 13th I'm really not sure about. It could be rock texture or a painted person, mostly hidden behind the rock. I can confirm that that is a 13th person. You can tell that it is. Yeah. On the Hydaelyn side, you can clearly see 12 people. It would make sense to have the number of people on this painting to be accurate, because it's an important historical record. And I agree with that because it's such a low number, you know? So it would make sense. Now, if we sided with the people summoning Hydaelyn, and if the 12 were indeed the ones to do it, that would make us one of the 12, wouldn't it? Which one? Well, it could be something many people don't even remember doing or give second thought to. You choose a guardian deity when you make your character. I know some of you aren't too big on the 12 summoning Hydaelyn theory, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on this anyway. And then he even provided pictures. They provided pictures, and that's very nice. Let's take a look at the Zodiark summoning. Here's the 13. It's a little difficult to see, but there are definitely 13 people here. The 13th is sort of like the rock kind of folds in, but there is a hand there, and you can see his little hand sticking out. So that's definitely a 13th person standing there, which then makes Hydaelyn's summoners interesting, because they are 12. That is very interesting to me, because it kind of makes a little sense with what we've learned.
It does. I really liked the theory about the deity as well.
Yeah, that would be so cool if that... Because it doesn't really mean anything in the game right now.
It was like plus one stat.
Yeah. In 1.0, you get a little more stat boost because of it, I think.
Yeah.
But other than that, it would be a great... That would be the biggest plot twist.
Oh, it would be so good, yeah.
Yeah, and it would be such a good plot twist because it's been... it's always been mentioned, the 12, like every now and then, but never elaborated on, ever. So you don't really get any more information, and that would be a proper... But one thing you do know is that these are the gods that the people of Hydaelyn worship. These are big deals.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That would be crazy if that's the case.
It's super easy to implement as well, because it could just be like, hello, first name.
Yeah.
Because it's something you picked. It'd be hello, chosen deity.
Yeah.
Then in conversation, it would always work.
Yeah.
Except for voice cutscenes, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that, and I sort of hope somehow, in the end, there's just this huge, crazy battle between the 12, and we're one of them.
Yeah. Because it kind of makes sense that maybe that's what the creation myth is explaining to us, is the people that summoned Hydaelyn were placed on this new, the new world, and that's how it... Because what is the world? And how can Oshon not come from the world, not being created by any of the other gods? I love how the myth just they don't care. He just appeared. So why is it so specific? Why did Oshon just appear out of nowhere? Why couldn't they just say he came from the world, it was all good? No, for some reason Oshon did not come from the world.
It's almost like we are destined to be Oshon then. Because we left the 14 and appeared out of nowhere to join the 11 to become 12. We're Oshon, guys.
We're Oshon, guys. It's true.
There you go. Speaks of hiding first. First on the scene, we're Oshon.
Yeah. I don't know. It's even if
now that I've thought about it, that seems like a really because of how specific it is.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, he is a wanderer. It sort of goes with his name, but
yeah, but no.
How can you wander into?
He wasn't called Oshon the Wanderer before he wandered.
No.
He gained that title after. Yeah.
Yeah. Warrior of Light is the Weary Wanderer.
Oh my god. Did Emmett know? And that's why he...
Well, he says curse your 12.
Yeah, because...
That makes sense if he hated them because they summoned Hydaelyn. Curse your 12, not my 13.
Then, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. This sounds pretty feasible to me, but
I like it.
Because I didn't expect to get this epiphany, but that's okay. It's interesting. So do you think that the 12? First of all, Maela, just so we know, before we had this epiphany, I should have asked: do you right now think that the 12 actually existed in some capacity?
In some capacity, yeah.
Okay.
I don't necessarily know.
They're not just the scribblings of a madman that someone just kept pushing and then eventually became a religion.
They're way too specific.
Okay. Yeah.
They're way too in-depth. I don't know about the creation myth necessarily.
No, the creation myth is
that
just...
could have been made up.
That could have been, made up, of course.
And I feel like maybe the worship of them, and it's changed over the years to be something it never was.
Yeah.
But they must have come from somewhere, because it's so specific.
Yeah. And for them to be like... why do they have such a terrible demonym?
Ancient. Let's call them the Ancient.
The Ancients. Would make sense considering how our planet was sort of born out of a world that was. So for that to be made out of people, and it was also like the world was created by something they summoned. So this is sort of Hydaelyn giving them paradise as a reward.
We left the convocation before they actually summoned Zodiac, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we didn't summon Zodiac.
No.
We've only summoned Hydaelyn.
Yeah.
If this is the theory.
So it lines up, kind of. Because, like you said, we left before the summoning of Zodiac, which means we didn't summon Zodiac, right?
No.
And Hydaelyn was summoned after.
Yeah, and we've almost definitely been tempered by her.
Oh, yeah. I think.
Big time.
We'll see how it goes in the next few patches. But
maybe everyone who has the Echo is one of the 12 who's tempered by Hydaelyn. So, like, Cryo and Minfit. Because not all of the Scions have the Echo, do they?
No.
Only some.
Yeah. That's a
Which means that guy... What's the guy called? Arenvold, is that... Yeah.
I don't think maybe... I mean, that would be... What a coincidence that almost all the 12, for some reason, just crossed paths in the same time.
It's just a theory, guys.
Yeah.
Just game theory.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think it's so before we had Shadowbringers, we had sort of the discussion was more like, where are the 12 now?
Yeah.
But now it's more like, are we one of the 12? That was never like a question before, and now it's like, that's kind of weird. I have to reset my brain here. But we can still ask though, where are the 12? What happened to the 12? The other ones, if we are the one of them, where are the rest, and why did we stop? Because at some point we were... Yeah. And now we're just going with the idea that we are one of the 12. But why did we stop responding? Also, why didn't Louisoix... Does that work? How does the 1.0 Warrior of Light work with the current lore?
It works less so, I guess.
We still didn't know where he came from, though, in 1.0, to be fair. The adventurer, I mean. So the
Ascians sort of split fairly equally into the shards, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
We couldn't because of how many we are.
Yeah. Yeah, King Thornton knew that there was something about us. Yeah, he did. He said, "What are you?" or whatever. There is something wrong. Well, we know that there's something wrong because we are basically almost an Ascian in a way. We're not an Ascian because we don't worship Zodiac, but it's you know what we are. I don't want to say the word because I hate it. Omoratinian. 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 Amoratine. Yeah, let's ask chat. What do you guys think? Well, our original question was, do the 12 exist? I feel like at this point, that question is a little void.
So, no, that's fair, because, you know, I'm sure there are decent counter-arguments as well, but we just can't.
Okay, let's ask. Right. So I think we need a maybe another discussion when we know more, when we get more information, because even though we've had Shadowbringers, there's very little information about the 12. Actually, there's nothing except for that one line where Emmett says, curse your 12.
Yeah.
They're
definitely keeping it, like, under wraps and quite secretive.
Yeah. Maybe this is nothing, by the way. This could be nothing. We might be on a
we
dead
could just be,
thing that just has no importance to the story whatsoever, and they're never gonna, you know, do anything about it. Because the 12 is basically like a leftover from 1.0 again, so they might just leave it forever. But we'll see. Right. It looks like the consensus in chat though is that the 12 do exist. And I guess hopefully we're right. I hope we're right that the 12 do exist. What?
Especially that we're Oshon.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else is going to jump to that instantly, so we'll be super right.
Oh, you just want to be right just for the sake of like being able to say that we were right.
Partially, yeah.
Yeah, no, I
just
think
it would be pretty cool as well.
Because it would be so disappointing if it wasn't.
It would show a great level of forward planning that we're Oshon to have done that so many years ago, the creation myth.
Yeah. Right. That's I think that's all the MogMail, right? Or is there more MogMail before we go? Oh, there was the second part of Kidah Kamikaze's MogMail, which was thinking about who could have summoned them and how the 12 fit in. When Riemann Amorat is repeatedly shown to us how powerful the Amoratines are with creation. What if the 12 are the Ashen? Okay, it's the same thing. Who separated from the Amorat's rulers and summoned Hydaelyn. This would explain the creation myth we have of them and tie them together with the Mother Crystal, which was a weird division of the lore before now. That's so true. Because remember when we talked about it the first time, we talk about the 12 all the time. What about Hydaelyn? Where does Hydaelyn fit into this? And now it kind of, we know where Hydaelyn fits into this.
We used to be talking about like the 12 are either a lower or higher tier than Hydaelyn.
Yes.
And like maybe they're the guardians of Hydaelyn or some nonsense like that.
Yeah.
But they didn't quite fit. And it would help tie them in.
Yeah, it would.
We were just people. The 12 were just people.
Yeah. They were people with knowledge that would help.
The 12 were the same as Ascians. I kind of like that.
It explains... he says it. Emmett says it at the Graha confrontation scene in the Crown of the Immaculate, the cutscene after. It makes. Sorry, what was I saying? It makes sense that because the 12 are explained as deities that helped the wandering tribes. So, and they would obviously have a lot of knowledge from the previous world. So they would give that. They would try to help.
That's true.
And that's when they chose their deities for their cities.
And it makes sense that the 12 are revered on the source because that's like the Hydaelyn world, isn't it? That's her area.
Yeah.
So of course everyone's going to have a greater affinity to Hydaelyn. She's obviously like influencing them.
Yeah.
I don't see any. Oh, I love the 13.
Yeah. There you go. That's, I think, our current theory is that the 12, that the people that broke off to summon Hydaelyn are the 12. Could potentially be the 12, at least. I don't know if we can lock in the Oshon theory, but I would definitely lean towards the maybe we are one of the 12. At least being one of them, and then picking your deity decides who you were.
I'm down with Oshon just because of the creation myth and how it feels like Oshon came into the fold.
Yeah.
After everyone else had.
It does make sense. It is really annoying that it makes sense.
I know. But then also you have to sort of think about Helone and.
Oh, yeah.
Byragot, who come in later. But they do come out of the...
They come out of the whirl. All the others either come out of the whirl or get created, which also is a trait. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, whoop. Some are being created.
That's true.
Although we have to remember that the myth is made by an Eorzean.
Yeah.
Okay, there are cracks. There's definitely something that needs...
There's some cracks, so... We still need some glue to hold this together.
Yeah, and I don't know what that glue would be.
Something more concrete.
Yeah, because there's definitely there's like some incestuous stuff going on with Althek and what's her name? I can't remember. They're the two first gods. So I mean, again, this is a creation myth, so it's a myth, and it's written by Nemea, and it's written by scholars from Eorzea, who obviously wasn't around when this happened. But someone must, if it's real, it must come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Or it might just be made up. Oh, well, let's not go there. Okay, because we need to wrap this show up. Thank you guys for tuning in to Speakers of Hydaelyn and participating in this discussion about the 12. This is not the last time we'll talk about the 12. Don't worry, we'll do it with a full cast one day when we have a little more information, maybe. Because I feel like for some reason we've decided to pick this as our like main story point for some reason. This is our main theory right now. So yeah, we'll definitely. This isn't the last time we talk about this.
No.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode, even though it was just the two of us. A few technical difficulties and some dead air, but hopefully you made it through.
Yeah.
We will transition into the post-show. If you're watching live, Maela has something to tell or show. I don't know what's happening in the post-show, so make sure you catch that if you're watching live. If you're not, then sorry. That's just watch live once maybe, or if you're a patron, you'll get this the full deal the day after broadcast or the day after that. I can't remember when I do it. Okay, thank you for watching. Remember to follow us on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfHeidland, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, link is in the description. Right, we'll see you in the post show if you're watching live. Bye.
Bye.